Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Parks Sportsbook and Casino app. Elliot Shore Parks, James Seltzer with you. A lot to get into today. We got a big announcement coming up later.
Yes.
I'm very excited about my final thought. It will contain a prediction.
Ooh, I have a final thought
today,
too, actually.
As I continue my final thought run, especially to get to see where I was starting to panic a little bit this morning. I was like, wow, I might need like 30 final thoughts. But you know what?
The more final thoughts, the better, I suppose.
I'm going to make it happen because
Yeah.
that's just what I'm here for. Now,
I have an initial thought, by the way.
is it how I started my day stepping in
No.
dog earmuffs? 1, 2, 3, dog shit. I started my day stepping in dog shit. How's everyone doing?
That's how his morning's going.
Shout out to my buddy Ruben,
Yeah.
my dog.
I was going to say, to be clear, your
drop a
dog.
deuce,
Yeah.
drop a deuce in the hallway
Yeah.
on the way to the bathroom. I think he was trying to get there. Proud of you, buddy, for trying to get to the shower.
You're giving him the benefit of the doubt. He could have just decided to do
He
it
could
there.
have just said, earmuffs, 1, 2, 3. Fuck you, Dad. He could have said that. Yeah.
Lots of earmuffs.
That's
early
where
on
I'm
in
at this
pod.
morning, guys.
I was going to
I'm
say,
sorry.
this might be an
I
earmuff
started my
pod.
day
Yeah.
stepping in dog shit. All right, what else am I supposed to do here?
If we were on the radio, I'd say cut that audio. So we talked about this, but Kingsley,
Good morning.
Yeah. By the way, Kingsley-
Welcome to the live show.
Kingsley and
Thanks for
Ruben
being
would just be mortified we're talking about this
here.
on the live pod.
What's really
Yeah.
funny is you bring that up, and then I always think about like the many Zoe things I talk about, and like Ruben, obviously, like, whatever he'll
Right.
do.
Yeah,
Like, Zoe
he's
will be
better
like-
accepting.
So it'd be like 15 someday, and be like, Dad, what? The
I know. Like I used to say banana wrong. Like who knows? Maybe she'll still
banana,
be
Dad,
saying
that's
maybe.
not funny at all.
Yeah, or she'll be like, "What do you mean I'm saying it wrong, Dad?"
Saying I'm a 15-year-old saying banana.
yeah,
Wrong.
exactly. Kingsley will just go in the shower, and it's not that
Yeah,
bad.
Ruben usually
Yeah.
does that. Ruben usually will go to the shower or at worst go on the bathroom floor instead of the rug outside the bathroom. Like
Right.
normally he's reliable. Like
Yeah.
that's why I'm giving him the benefit.
So that was your morning this morning.
That was my morning. Yes.
Yeah. So you're 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
Which
15
and
minutes
you
late.
are
not to mention after. So my week is what we should.
You're
be
weak, man.
Started the week off with a flag. Got 3 hours of sleep last night. Went to bed at like 10 o'clock last night, which turns out was too late. Should have gone to bed at like 8 o'clock
Yeah.
because I'm still freaking tired. And then I wake up at 7 dog crap. So
Well, as we've discussed,
let's go birds, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, how
Well,
about it?
And as we've discussed, the older you get, the longer it takes you to recover from missing sleep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's tough.
like one night of bad sleep, and you might as well just chalk up the whole week.
That's right.
But you got to recover because you got the game coming up.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. into it.
I do a quick initial thought actually.
Okay.
You ready
so
for
you're
this?
on a final. Look at you.
No, it's
You're
not really a thought.
Chewing it up right now.
Leave 5-star reviews.
Yeah, we haven't done that. In a
Yeah,
while.
right? We haven't done that in a while.
We love the
Someone
vibes.
actually
They mean a lot to Elliot. Like Elliot actually will check that.
Yeah, I
read
check them
that.
every single day.
Yeah. Do you still?
Every single day. Yeah.
Really? Oh my
Yep,
God.
every single day.
I will never, ever, ever, ever check them.
But I will check them.
And the really nice ones Elliot sends to me, and I do enjoy them.
Yeah,
So,
we've gotten some really nice ones recently. Someone did remind us about the SATs.
totally forgot.
We'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, Super Bowl run took precedence.
Yes,
Look, We're
exactly.
still not there. All right.
I don't think we're far off though. I think we're only like 100 off.
off.
So if we get 100 5-star reviews, we will take the SATs.
I forgot all about this.
5 stars, nice comment. We will take and post our SAT
I
scores.
forgot all about this.
Imagine they win the Super Bowl and then 3 days later it's like, Elliot, you want to go out and like celebrate? And it's like, I'm actually studying for the SATs.
Oh man.
Would not be good.
So maybe don't leave 5-star reviews.
No. Don't be dissuaded by James. It helps the pod. All right.
All right, leave us 5-star reviews.
I do have an Eagles thought, by the way.
Oh, I would hope so. We're
Yeah.
going to talk Eagles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want me
lay
to
out-
say it first? It's not 49ers related though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go for it.
I mean, unless you had something.
I
Unless you
laid
felt.
out my rough morning.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say.
I'm very excited about my final thought, Lester. I'm going to make a prediction, like I said.
Okay.
And we do have something really, 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 really cool to tell you about the end of the pod.
Well, especially if you got the detail confirmed that we thought.
Oh, it's locked.
Okay,
Oh,
nice.
the details confirmed. It's
Oh, wow.
That's
It's-
why I
okay.
went with like 8 realies. Because
Yeah, this is probably the cool. Here's what I'll
Is
say.
8 realies enough? It might be a 15 really.
And
cool
I'll
thing.
say this. We always love the auto downloaders, and the real ones, and the 5-star reviewers. If you listen to the end of this pod, like you're gonna get a little treat.
You're getting a treat.
Yeah, like
A-
this. It's
not a little
shrinking
treat, a big treat.
a big,
There's a big
potentially
treat.
massive.
Yeah, potentially the biggest treat.
Yeah,
You at
like
least get a shot.
yeah, you get a shot, right?
And a big treat. So
All
that's
right.
coming up later.
So
What's
here,
my prediction?
here's my Eagles thought. So we talked so much about like the Josh Allen leap, right? And Josh Allen is like, when you think about quarterbacks taking a leap from wherever, from year 1 to year 2, year 2 to year 3, you think of Josh Allen.
Well, no. You think Jalen Hurts.
True. Well, now you think
It's
of
the
Jalen
Jalen
Hurts.
Hurts leap.
Right.
I said that earlier in the season. I believe it. And I know you made the joke on Twitter.
Right.
That was a brilliant tweet when you're
Thank
all-time
you.
greats.
Thank
But
you.
like, I honestly think we should call it the Jalen Hurts leap moving forward because he took a bigger leap. He
did. Now, but here's where I actually think what Jalen Hurts did last 2 years is going to have an impact on the entire league. I think Jalen Hurts' success is going to change how we all evaluate quarterbacks.
Whoa!
Because
I love this.
if you think about it, Jalen Hurts' resume coming into the NFL was better than most quarterbacks could ever dream of. Played at Alabama, won championships, went to Oklahoma, had like 60 total touchdowns, had like 20 rushing touchdowns, was everything where the game was headed, almost won the Heisman, right? You know, great athlete, great person, great on the like chalkboard and everything. Basically fell simply because people thought his arm wasn't great. And I'm not diminishing that because it's a quarterback, but I think that when you look at and I know Jalen's a special person, right? His ability to improve is a unique talent. And that was part of the reason why he's turned into what he is, which is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But I think the whole draft process in general, if I'm a GM or an owner, I'm asking my GM, why aren't we evaluating quarterbacks like that? Because if you look at what Jalen did in college at the level he did it at, we talk about it with Nakobe Dean, Devontae Smith, Jordan Davis, Landon Dickerson. I think that if I'm a team like the Jets or the Giants or a team that's in need of a quarterback, watching Jalen Hurts to me is changing what I'm looking for. Malik Willis, perfect example. Now he fell far, but throughout the process, he was viewed as somebody just raw talent, right? But he went to Liberty, and no offense if anybody went to Liberty. Ultimately, I think how Jalen has succeeded will change how people view quarterbacks in the draft.
I agree with you, but I think it's a different reason. I think you're hitting on something, but if teams are smart, they'll be doing it differently. Mm-hmm. It's not about a big school thing. And I do think like that guys can get underrated because of those type of things and those situations. Right. And I do think as a community, the draft community overrates arm strength and physical.
That's what I think that's why people missed on Jalen. But I know where you're going, and it's the correct point.
It's the off the field. It's the talking to the guy. It's the getting to know this person at this position. I mean, it's been my cross to bear.
It is.
The entirety of this podcast. I've always done the above the shoulder thing. It's always what I believe to my core. And it's hilarious that we have Jalen Hurts now because he's like the
poster child.
Literal representation of it in a human person. But I think that if teams are smart, they're gonna look at, and not just because the physical stuff matters, but like they're gonna look at Jalen and be like, oh, look at this guy, look at the leadership, look at the way this team responds to him, how calm he is, how they believe in him, the way he goes about his business, his work ethic, all that. And if teams are smart, they're gonna prioritize that in quarterbacks moving forward because ultimately, I think that is the most important. You need, like I always say, base level talent, and obviously the more the better. But I think ultimately, the guys like Joe Burrow, like the reason Joe Burrow is so great is like he's talented, but it's because he's smart and confident. Like he's the man. He's the man, right? Like that matters.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. Like I keep bringing up Nick Foles in the Super Bowl because it matters that those guys in that huddle are looking at that dude like he's their savior, like he's gonna lead them to glory. Like that matters.
Yeah,
and I think that is the kind of thing teams should take from draft.
100%. But and yes, that's what I was trying to get at. But also, I saw this highlight yesterday of Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma, where he's in the pocket. Someone, he's rushed. He has pressure on him. He takes the ball from one hand, like puts it behind his back. The guy is trying to rip it out. He holds onto the ball, puts it fully around his back, recomposes himself, rushes to the side, and completes like a 15-yard pass. And as I was watching it, I was thinking, like, what in the world were draft GMs doing? Like, how did you watch what he did, meet with him, and not draft him? Yeah. It's wild to me that he fell as far as he did.
That's a great point,
and props to Howie for drafting him for sure.
Especially considering Wentz was here.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there was some like fibbing when they were talking about him. But even they said they drafted him to be a backup. It wasn't, like he was drafted to be their guy.
And they took him with the 53rd pick in the draft.
Exactly.
Not the third pick in the draft.
I mean, he might end up going down as one of like the greatest draft misevaluations. Everyone talks about, not by the Eagles, obviously, by the teams that passed.
And even then by the Eagles. I mean, like Jalen Hurts should have been the second pick in the draft. Maybe the first. It's like it should have gone Burrow, him.
Yeah,
like in
a redraft for
right?
sure.
Maybe
yeah,
Herbert, Burrow,
right.
and in a redraft right now, if they do it today, Burrow, Herbert, and Hurts are the top three picks in whatever order teams value it. Without doubt,
I do think that's probably the order it would go. Burrow, Herbert, Hurts. I'm not saying what I would do.
I think that's a mistake. I would go. Burrow's the only one I would even consider drafting over Hurts. Only one.
Yeah.
He might be so it's Burrow, Mahomes, and Hurts. In my opinion, the top 3 players, if there's a draft, if I'm in charge of the NFL drafting and I'm giving each team the top players off the board, Hurts, Burrow, and Mahomes are the top 3 picks, in my opinion, in the NFL.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen has fallen out of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was looking it up yesterday. Jalen Hurts is 21-4 in his last 25 games as an Eagles quarterback. And I went and looked around like at the other Eagles quarterbacks. I could only find one stretch that was better, and it was McNabb from
it had to be Donovan.
Well, and it was like the end of 03 into 04. And even he
when
only
they were 13-1.
Right, but even he only matched 21-4. Wow. He didn't beat it.
Wow.
Now, you could like, where does it start?
Sure,
man?
Of course,
but like what we're watching from Hurts is
historic.
It's not the best quarterback play we've ever seen from this organization. It's up there.
I said on the pod like last week or whatever. I mean, it's probably the best quarterbacked Eagles season we've ever seen. I mean, we thought it was Wentz, right? I mean, Hurts was better.
And McNabb 04 was pretty amazing.
Great too, but like this season Jalen Hurts had at 24 is one of the great seasons we've ever seen, if not the greatest. All right, let's get to AJ Brown because we did title
we did title it that.
They can't say on the pop. The live feed was like, "Don't worry about AJ Brown." Let's not talk about AJ Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick.
That's how you know not to worry. We're not even going to talk about it.
We're just set.
No, I do have some thoughts.
Okay, we get to AJ Brown in a sec. First, download the BetParks Sportsbook and Casino app.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the time. Like we are. So, by the way, quick shout out to me. 4-0 week last week. This guy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
4-0.
I know that's pretty good.
It's like the first good thing I've done all year.
Yeah.
The amazing part of it all. Somehow still lost money betting on the weekend.
Nice. Well, obviously.
I know, but I went 4-0 and I somehow found a way to lose money.
Yeah.
That's the fun of the bet. But you know what I did? I lost money and I still had a great time. I still had the best time until my basement flooded. I had less fun watching that game, but still more fun because I had shekels involved.
Yes.
That's the real key here. It's just, look, we've got 3 football games left. Like how you could watch these games without having action on them, beyond me.
Well, imagine the Eagles winning to go to the Super Bowl and also not winning shekels.
It's crazy to me.
And it's something to think about. Now, the Eagles are the favorite right now, but if you think the Eagles are going to win the game, and I think we've had this debate before, but if you think the Eagles are going to win the game on Sunday, you might as well just bet the future odds on them winning it now.
You mean winning it all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you won't get as good
because you won't get them plus 260. You probably might not even get them plus money.
So this is a mistake I make, and this is a great point you bring up because I'm always like, because I'll think about it like plus 1,000 and plus 700, and they keep going. I'm like, oh yeah, I think they're gonna win, but it's so far away.
Yeah.
And then by the time you're like, oh, I really think they're gonna win, it's like, oh,
you should have bet it.
I blew it.
Yeah.
I didn't get those odds. And then I won't bet it because I'm like, oh, I didn't get the better odds. I should.
But this is your last chance.
But the point is that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Because if I think they're going to win, I should bet it along the way and any odds I get.
And the odds keep getting worse.
Exactly.
Too, yeah.
So there's a great point by Elliot. Grab it now because, look, we'll see what happens. Obviously, there's a tougher week. The Bengals, Burrow, Mahomes, that's tough. Like, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Like, if I had to bet my life right now, I'd bet on the Eagles of these 4 teams.
Right.
And anything can happen. So, like,
that's what I'm saying. The Eagles will not be plus 260 in the Super Bowl.
That's exactly right. So put your money where your mouth, where your heart is, and all that. And again, just bet on everything else. But on basketball action, there's so much great stuff.
Yeah.
Download the app now in the App Store, Google Play Store, or at betparks.com. Use our promo code GoBirds. That's GOBIRDS. If your first bet is not a winner, you get $750 in bonus credit back. You must be 21 and present in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Give them the promo code 1-800-GAMBLER. Elliot Shore Parks. Tell people why they should not be worried about AJ Brown.
A lot of AJ Brown talk the last few days on the Twitter sphere. A lot of
WIP, it's everywhere.
Okay, all right,
A little bit, yes. You're not like a ton yesterday, but there was definitely
some concern.
What's going on? Is he mad he didn't get the ball? Is he hurt?
Right.
Is it this? Is it that?
So I think it's probably a little bit of a combination. So remember the pass late in the game that was deep to AJ that looked like it was kind of overthrown. AJ put his hands out. It was in the end zone.
Yes, and that's the one where he was slow getting up.
Yes, yeah. That was the second time I think he was slow getting up from there. It was either the first or second time. Mm-hmm. But I thought the pass was overthrown initially. When you rewatch it, I actually think AJ couldn't get to it because he's dealing with something. Jeff McClain.
Ooh, that's not what you meant. That was a.
Well, hold on. Okay. Jeff McClain tweeted out that I guess, and credit to Jeff, that it was like he was dealing with something, but he told the doctors he was okay, but maybe it was like a small hip thing. I think if I'm remembering the tweet correctly. Ultimately, here's where I'm at with AJ Brown. I think he's fine. He's going to play on Sunday. He's, look, I think that in the game, if you're dealing with it, is a lot different than the next week where they have a week to like treat it and stuff, right? So ultimately, do I think he was like thrilled that he got only 2 catches? No, I don't think he was.
You don't think he was excited about that?
No, I don't. And yeah, I don't. But I do think that it's the NFC Championship game. He's going to play. It wouldn't surprise me if he was like limited on Wednesday. The Thursday thing will be the real
test.
We'll find, because that's the most intense practice, and that's like their day. They really prep for the game, so that'll tell us. But ultimately, he's going to play, and even if he's not 100%, I don't think he's like 40%. I think he'll be mostly okay. Nick talked about it yesterday. Said that again, he's dealing with something, and he should be good to go for the game. So who knows? Maybe 24 hours now. We're feeling dumb. Well, 48 hours.
Yeah, like it's like, it's way worse than we thought.
Yeah, yeah. And again, so I think this is how I could picture it going.
It did seem like he did say, like, I'm good on the sidelines. It seemed like he was, kind of implying that.
And I saw him in the locker room afterwards, and he seemed fine. I think this is how this could play out. Wednesday, like limited / doesn't practice because it's like basically a walkthrough. Mm-hmm. Thursday, if he's limited Thursday, then I think there's a little like, okay, he's dealing with something. I would be floored if he doesn't play. So I think he won't. I don't think there'll be an injury designation at the end of the week, would be my guess.
Yeah. And look, again, reading the what we've seen on the sideline, the way he talked, all that stuff, I think it was probably a combination. He's going through something. And to your point, he was just frustrated. He wasn't involved as much. But look, they won the game. I'm sure he's more happy they won than if he was involved. He has been a good teammate all year long. I know he sometimes says some things, but for the most part, he has not caused any issues.
Well, he's also like the definition of people that go like, "Oh, I don't care about Twitter," and then he's on Twitter, which is fine. I'm the same way. Well, at least I admit I care about Twitter. But it was so funny at the beginning of the year. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm off social media.
He says he's off it.
I don't need it." And then like he tweets more than any other player on the team, probably. Yeah. Well, Slay is number one. Yeah, Slay is number one. Yeah.
Look, I'm right there with you with AJ. Obviously, I don't any inside information on this or whatever, but it seemed like one of those things where, look, like Richie is a big fan of saying at this point in the season, everyone's hurt. And he's right. They're all going through something. It seems like AJ's going through a little something. But I think it was probably a combination of the way the game played out. And look, they were dominating. They didn't really need to throw the ball like the second half basically at all.
Right. I mean, it is a little like 1 to 10, maybe like a 3 concerning that he ran to get that ball and couldn't get to it, would be my. Now, look, maybe it was overthrown, but I start rewatching it. To me, it looked like he didn't look as fast as normal. Another interesting AJ thing. So I was looking up this week how many broken tackles Debo and Christian McCaffrey have. And then I was also like, for comparison, let me look and see Miles. Miles has more broken tackles than both of them, by the way, for what it's worth. For all like they're hard to tackle in space, Miles has more forced missed tackles than they do. Pro Football Focus, and look, we can disagree on the number. They have him, if I read this correctly, AJ Brown with not one missed tackle this year.
That can't be possible.
Dude, I'm telling you, maybe there is 1 or 2. I don't think AJ's been as good after the catch as people are made out to be this year.
Well,
I think Devontae is just as good after the catch.
Well, he hasn't done a ton after.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's been awesome, like unbelievable.
He's
but I thought like coming in, and when you look at his highlights in Tennessee,
as much this year,
that's true. Maybe he's not put in spaces enough to do it.
I think he's more open. He doesn't have his guys right on him as much. And yes, he's made tough catches in space, but it's been spots where
it's a good point. Yeah.
But like there's been that one where he just throws dudes off and
gets caught from behind more than I would expect.
But look, AJ Brown's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable.
He's had one of to the Hurts point we just made. T.O. is still better, but like AJ Brown, one of the best Eagles wide receiver seasons we've ever seen. Top
100%.
5 probably. So I mean Devontae's up there too.
Well, that's the other part of it. I do wonder when we talk about like McNabb and T.O. if that team is like the actual first version of people that are older that'll say like, well, actually Wilbert Montgomery was awesome. Because think about it. T.O. and McNabb were unbelievable that year. Like unbelievable. Like the definition of like not breakout, but like special season you'll always remember. Statistically,
14 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, AJ had 13, if I'm not mistaken.
He played in 12 games or whatever.
True. No, I know he was better.
11, yeah.
But
come on, he got hurt.
No. I'm not saying he was.
And he came back and had 9 for 122 at the Super Bowl on a broken leg.
But I wonder if in 5 years there'll be like people that are 15 years younger than us that are like, nah, man, AJ was better.
Hey, I'm sure there will be. They'd be wrong.
Right.
I love AJ Brown. I mean, I like Terrell Owens was peak Terrell Owens at that point. And he's like the 3rd best receiver in the history of football.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take T.O.
No, I will too, to be clear. I'm just saying I wonder if sometimes we romanticize it because we lived through it,
Of course. course.
Yeah.
Of course we do. And I'm sure a lot of people do. And everyone does about their era.
That's what I mean. I wonder if that's the first team that we romanticize.
I see Nick Foles better than Don McNabb. I don't think I'm romanticizing.
That's a good point.
About the childhood
it's a good point.
And all that stuff.
Yeah.
Tia was just better. It's okay. Tia was the third best, fourth best. I think the third best receiver in the history of the game. He added 14 touchdowns in 10 games or 12 games or whatever.
Dude, speaking of third best receiver of all time, isn't it wild the Vikings didn't retire Randy's number?
I didn't know that.
Rosomeone currently wears it on the roster.
It's Rager, isn't it?
No, Rager's like 5 or something.
Oh, he doesn't.
Rager
I
would be
assumed he was
unbelievable.
the same number.
No, it was. Well, Randy Moss was 84.
Oh yeah.
Wow, look at that. Yeah. We really are having a morning.
Well, no, I've said this. I'm not great at numbers. Like I'm really good.
Really?
Like it's my one weak spot. Like I'm really good at stats. I'm really good at remembering who's on what teams. I'm really
not good at the numbers.
I am horrible. At,
I'm pretty good at numbers.
I'm like fine. Like I remember most big ones, but like I definitely blank on some.
So I would say I'm good at numbers, except for the players that I don't know.
It's a really good take.
Thanks.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really bad with like player numbers. I'm good at remembering the amount of catches or touchdowns they had.
But think about that.
It's a really weird thing. The brain's weird, dude.
The
brain is so weird. Like even just memory. Like Emily and I have completely opposite memories. Like I can remember if we're watching a TV show, I'll tell you every actor is in it.
Yeah.
Who it's directed by, what the name of the episode is, and all that. But I could have seen the whole episode and remember nothing that happens in it. Emily cannot tell you one actor, cannot tell you one name.
Remembers everything.
But she will remember like to the tiniest detail, the plot of the story. Like memory is wild, man. The brain is wild.
I would say I'm pretty bad at remembering. Like I would say my short-term memory in terms of like, Kristen would be like, hey, like go grab that.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible.
And then I'll be like, wait, would you, that type
I do
of thing.
that all the time.
Or
what were we just talking about?
Dude, the thing I've been doing more than ever recently is leaving my house, locking the door, getting in my car, and being like,
did I lock the door?
And then once you think it, you're like, well, I got to go check now. And it's
I've
always locked. I don't think there's been a single time I haven't had it locked. But dude, the Vikings not retiring Randy Moss
is unbelievable.
Is insane.
Yeah,
he's got to be the best player in franchise. I mean,
Yes, yeah.
I don't know.
One of them. Let me stop there. I mean, they
have a quarterback.
Tarkenton back in the day was there, I believe. And I'm sure.
Chris Carter,
Chris Dolman. Like they've had some defensive Hall of Famers. John Randall's in the Hall.
But I mean, Randy Moss is.
I think it's Randy Moss.
Yeah,
he's the second best receiver of all time.
So how about those Niners?
All right, so AJ Brown fine.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts reevaluating how everything happens in the draft.
Yes. Yeah. How about those Niners?
Well, sorry. I wanted to ask you this because I feel like yesterday you did a great job as always on the pod, but you didn't have a lot of sleep, right? It was
like no sleep,
hallucinating, James.
No joke. Sometimes when you don't get enough sleep by the end of the night, like you feel like you're hallucinating.
Yeah,
that's what I was like.
Wow,
I was bad by the end of the night. I was like, I feel really weird.
Well, and also just the fact that you went through the most traumatic thing somebody.
Yeah, it was not just the lack of sleep; it's the lack of sleep combined with the stress. And I mean, our plumbing wasn't even fixed till like 5 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah,
so it was
but it is fixed now.
Yes.
So
shout out to my guy Eddie.
Here's what I wanted to ask
Coming over with his tool and cleaning out the drains like
a
superstar.
That's a big true man move right there.
That's great. Yeah, well, I wouldn't do it. That's for sure.
What are your general thoughts? I just want to get like now it's been like 48 hours thoughts on the Niners. I feel like yesterday we got it, but I didn't feel like I got peak James thoughts.
I think we're going to win. That's where my thoughts are in the Niners. I think the Niners are a really good football team. They're way better than the Giants. I'm not doing the whole like lock it up. Like last week I was sure I would have bet my life if I had to. Like luckily I didn't. Actually I could have.
Well,
it would have been fine.
You could have, in theory, people could have bet whatever they wanted. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was super confident. I saw the one tweet was pretty funny. Someone tweeted, someone was complaining about like the U.S. debt or whatever.
Yeah. Just put it on
Jalen Hurts anytime.
Yeah. I think it was Boston Scott.
No, it was Jalen Hurts. It was Jalen Hurts, and it was before the game, and ended up hitting obviously.
That would be wild.
Very funny idea.
If the government came out and said, "Look,
we're in deep debt. We got to do something here."
Now, what bookie?
We need to double up, guys.
Now you have to wonder what bookie would take that bet.
Like covering the trillion.
Yeah, I don't think as great as Parks is. I don't know if they're paying out a bet of $1 trillion. That would be rough for them.
It would be a tough B. I think it's multiple trillions. I'm not sure though. But I'm not like as they're definitely going to win the game. But I do come in thinking they are the better football team. They have been the better team this year. I know that the Niners are on a hot streak, but. The Eagles have been overall a better team. And again, like I come back to, it's so funny because the history of this podcast, I feel like I'm you. I come back to it. I'm like, is a 7th-round rookie quarterback going to come in here and beat Jalen Hurts? Like, when I boil it down, I'm looking at like, all right, like really, I think these teams are pretty similar from a talent perspective. I think when you take the quarterback position out, they're probably the same. Like, who knows? Maybe one's slightly more talented than the other. I think the coaching staffs are both really good.
I think they're the same team.
I think they're the same team.
Although I do think the Eagles' defensive line, in my opinion, is considerably better than that.
I don't know if it is or not. It might be. I mean, probably, but they also have a guy who can wreck a game there.
But the Eagles have Reddick.
Sure, Bosa's better.
But I mean, if you say like Bosa's a 10 and Reddick's a 7.5, 8, or whatever,
he's up there.
I think the rest.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the point is that it's not that much better that the Niners defensive line couldn't wreck a game too. The point is that I think that the biggest difference by far is Hurts over Purdy, especially a rookie in 7th-round rookie coming in the link. Like I think the Eagles win.
Well, here's an interesting way to look at it too. I think the two biggest advantages in terms of, because I agree they're mostly similar rosters. I think the biggest gaps both favor the Eagles. The quarterback, and I personally do think the gap in defensive line is notable. Again, they have one player on the roster that has over 5 sacks.
Yeah,
the Eagles have 4 that had double digits. Right, like Bosa's awesome for sure, but he's one guy. The Eagles, I think the defensive line is way better. Now, Fred Warner, the linebacker, is probably way better than any linebacker the Eagles have. But it's linebacker, so
yeah, but he's a great player. I mean, they're a really good defense. Is the point.
All right, so here's another stat I found that I thought was interesting. So when the Niners, so I'm big into turnovers this week. I think it's the key to the game. And I know it's a basic kind of like football thing, like don't turn the ball over. But I think this week it is actually the biggest correct piece of analysis. If the Eagles don't turn the ball over, they will win the game. So we talked on the last pod about how what the Niners record is. When they get one or fewer turnovers, they're 4-3. When the Eagles get 1 or fewer turnovers, they're 9-0. But here's another thing. When the Niners get 1 or fewer turnovers from their defense, they average 20 points. When they get over 2 turnovers, they average 30, right? So 10-point difference. For the Eagles, it's just 28 and 29.
Wow.
So the Eagles basically, their offense scores whether they get the ball in turnovers or they don't get the ball. They get close to 30 points. If the Niners don't get turnovers, they struggle to score. They do not move the ball up and down the field the way the Eagles do. They require, I saw Zach Berman tweet this yesterday. I think since Purdy started, they've had by far the best field position in the NFL. And I think it's because of the turnovers they're creating. So if the Eagles take care of the ball, I don't think the Niners, because of Purdy, can move up and down the field to the tune of like 35 points.
Okay. Final thoughts coming up in a minute.
Yes.
Friday night.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Friday night.
Yes.
8-10. McSorley's in Ardmore. Hold on, I'll tell you the street it's on. McSorley's in Ardmore, right off Haverford Avenue.
Right.
Friday, 8-10. So
Friday night, 8-10, McSorley's in Ardmore.
McSorley's in Ardmore. We'll be there.
Me and you.
Elliot and James.
Correct.
We'll be there. So
He's Elliot, I'm James.
That in and of itself is very exciting, right? At least
it's
for us.
Well, and also like they're playing in the championship game.
Right. So the championship weekend, we're going to be at McSorley's in Ardmore.
8-10.
Friday night, 8-10, hanging out, drinking beers with people, meeting people, shaking hands,
talking about the game,
whatever you want.
Yes.
We're going to be there. So
final thoughts you want to bring?
Yeah. Oh, come up to us.
Come with a final thought.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. We won't make you end the conversation right
now. Right, we can keep going.
Be like, hey, I got a final thought.
Well, a power move.
Right, cool, okay, boom. Yeah, power move would be to come
make the conversation and then say,
bam.
Well, no, conversate with us
and just leave.
And then go, so you want to do final thoughts?
I like that.
That would be good.
So either way, do something along those lines. So this in and of itself is super cool, right? Championship weekend, we're going to be out. Especially Elliot will tell you, me giving up a Friday night.
It's big.
Like I only... As someone who
you won't even give up Friday afternoon.
I know. As someone who works 7 days a week, Friday nights are my night. It's me and Emily. It's our night. It's the only time we get. I'm giving it up.
Yeah.
Because of how much I care about this, because of how important this is with this big weekend with the Eagles. So that in and of itself is cool. If you ever want to come, if you're anywhere near Ardmore Friday night, coming out with us, we're gonna be hanging. It's gonna be super fun. But that's not the super exciting part. It's cool. We'll be there and all that.
This is where it gets really exciting.
This is where oh, by the way, more exciting because Brent Selleck will be there with us. So
I forgot about
part
that.
Of it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brent Selleck. He will be there.
Don't
But,
give him a final thought. He might be a little weirded out.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, but I just don't know how he
final
would.
thought. What?
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, Brent, I did do an event with him during the draft. We went to
I saw him in Arizona. He's awesome, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like Brent
very personable.
Yeah, like he will. If you come, Brent Selleck will chat it up with you. Like he will be super happy to talk to you. He's like a really
dude. When I saw him
like
in Arizona, he walked around the tailgate by himself and just made conversation.
Dude, that's what he does.
He didn't like stand there and wait.
Everyone in the house.
Yeah.
We had, for the draft, we had to go to a house. Like someone won a thing to have us come to his house for the draft. Me and Brent were hanging out there.
Right.
He's talking to everyone. Like the family. He's chopping it up. He's throwing like so. Brent's really cool. We'll be there. We're really cool, kind of.
Right.
So
Smaller.
all this is amazing, but courtesy of Miller Lite, best seat in the house.
Here it comes.
You can win tickets to the NFC Championship game.
You can
like them.
You could win tickets to the NFC
Championship. NFC Championship game.
The slamming on the table is the key to the excitement.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it this way. If you had won this 5 years ago, you would have been in the building for 38-7. You would have been in the building to see them go to the freaking Super Bowl. That could happen again against a better football team and Jalen Hurts at quarterback. You'd be in the building for it.
So you come to McSorley's. You hang out with us.
And Brent.
You meet Brent Selleck. You
drink Miller Lights.
You drink Miller Lights.
Big key to all this.
And you could win tickets to the champ. You could then go to the game.
What weekend?
Yeah.
I mean, you start your weekend out in Armour with us, and your weekend at the freaking
you probably take it or you take it easy Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday's your day.
Bring it.
Yeah. I don't get why. And again, as someone that's been to these events, look, it'll be packed because McSorley's is awesome. But the odds, if you just think about it, I don't know, like 1 in 300,
well,
1 in
exactly. Whereas online, it's like 1 in like 40,000.
Exactly.
People are waiting in line for hours and not getting them. Like you just show up like at most, like
again, 1 in 4, like
exactly.
Like, the odds are way better than anywhere else you're gonna.
Could be 1 in 50, could be 1 in 100, could be 1 in
whatever. Could be 1 in 20. Who knows?
Because there are people who come who don't necessarily want to sign up for it or this that, or just going out to drink. Whatever. The point is, you will have a much better chance to get tickets to this game for free.
Yeah, you're not paying
if you come to this event than anything else you could possibly do this.
And here's the other thing to consider. Now, we don't get to decide who wins, to be clear. We have nothing to do with it.
It's a raffle.
It's a raffle, right? But it would be awesome if a pod listened.
You know,
like, again, if we can't do it, but it would be awesome if it was a pod
So
listener.
either way, come out. I mean, worst case, you get to hang out with Brent Selleck. We'll be there too.
Yes.
But come out and win some tickets. It's going to be really fun.
Yes.
All right. And we'll talk more about that as the week goes on again, because it's Friday night, which you might not know. Again, I'm giving up my Friday night for this.
You are.
You know, that's how
8 to
important
10.
it is to me. That's how important it is to me. I just want to like hammer that home. Like I'm doing this because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we are.
Final thoughts.
Late start to the day. We're still gonna be end up at like 40 minutes.
I know.
Somehow. I was like, oh, quick one today.
And we also barely talk about the Niners.
Yeah, that's fine. We got a week.
No, I know. It's just funny. Yeah.
It's Tuesday. It feels like Friday to your boys.
It does.
So yeah, we got a long weekend of us.
All right. You want your final
That's what
thought
you do.
first?
Monday and Tuesdays about the Eagles. Then you look ahead to them.
Then you look ahead.
That's
Agree.
the radio.
Yes.
Come on, Elliot.
Agree.
Work at WIP.
You're right.
Final thought.
Okay.
I will give a prediction and a thought as part of the prediction. Actually, it'll be like multiple thoughts within the prediction, but I'm giving a prediction and thoughts will accompany that prediction. So
okay. Dude, let me tell you. I think sign language is awesome. Like I've been watching more.
Sure. Yeah, it's amazing.
I think like
it is a very cool.
Like all right, so Zoe knows sign language.
Yeah, they teach it in her school a bit. So she knows like how to say like okay and yes and thank you and please and stuff like that.
Like if I had to learn, and it's not I guess it is a language, but like if I had to learn,
of course it's a language.
Well, but I'm saying it's English. But yeah, well, no, I guess it's not actually.
No,
good
it's
point.
not.
You're right. Good point.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's English. Oh no.
Well, I guess I just think about it that way.
I know you do.
Yeah, but if I could learn any language, I would pick sign language. I've been watching, so I watch Coda, right? This is very recency bias, Elliot.
Well, I'll just say it's funny you brought up Coda.
Okay, so I watch Coda, and then Ginny and Georgia, which someone suggested to me.
Last time, best show of all time.
There's sign language in that one. And dude,
Elliot's recency bias.
So you know how I feel that like
since the last best show I'd ever
exactly
seen, one before that.
Unbelievable. So you know I feel actors are pretty much replaceable.
Your worst take,
right?
I joke about your worst takes, like that is definitively in the running for your single worst take.
Okay,
yes.
But I think actors
could play Hamlet. Go ahead,
dude. Well, if you gave him a shot, who knows? But like, I think actors that use sign language, it's like watching art. Like the way they like act while also, and I'm not gonna use my hands.
I mean, you know, them talking, right? You understand that
sign
language is that person.
No, I know, I get that, but I'm saying the actors themselves like they learn sign language, I would assume, for the role, right? Because like they're
No, the guy who won for Coda's deaf.
no, I know, but I'm saying in Ginny and Georgia.
Oh, I don't know about
yeah,
Coda.
yeah.
But like a lot of
In
people
Coda, you're
a
correct.
lot of people in
Yes,
Coda are deaf.
100%
And
right.
for what it's worth, there aren't that many deaf performances in movies like this. So it's not like in a lot of cases that like Marley Matlin, like they are actual deaf people in these movies.
Right. But I'm saying in Ginny and Georgia, it's not. But regardless, the point I'm making is I think it's incredibly impressive. And I think it's the most impressive form of acting. To use your hands while also
all acting. See, this is why you underrate acting. All acting is they're using their bodies and their hands, and they're internalizing, and they're slouching, they're this, they're that. There's a million different things they're doing with their bodies. The same thing as doing sign language. You're just of course like the right in your face, obviously. Like, wow, they're doing sign language. That's so impressive.
I think it is.
It's a language. It
is.
Do you think people who speak Spanish are like, wow, it's so impressive you can speak English?
Well, I think if you learn another. Now again, you're right. There are some actors that are deaf, so they know it already.
Yes, like, Troy Kotsur won an Oscar for Coda. He's deaf.
Correct, yes. But I'm saying...
And he was amazing in the movie.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know, after watching Coda and watching Ginny and George, I think sign language
Elliot is the king of recency. Like, in the history of the world, I've never met someone who could, like, just see something and totally just be like, I'm in on that.
I want to learn sign language so bad.
They're very cool. I mean, look, so learn sign language. It's great. You should. It should help. Sign language is a wonderful thing.
Like, how dope would it be if at the Eagles pregame show, I signed everything while also saying it?
It's really dope. You could be the guy standing up there signing.
Yeah. I just think it's, like, incredibly impressive. That's my final thought. I'm, like, in awe when I watch actors do it. I must say to Kristen, like, 15 times while we're watching it, like, this is so dope.
Oh, man. Yes.
I think it's incredible.
I can hear that.
And obviously, I've known about sign language for a long time. I'm just saying in general.
So.
Yeah,
you're just impressed by it.
I'm telling you, man. I think it's the most impressive form of acting.
I love when you say stuff. All right, it is funny though that you brought up Coda. For those that don't know, Coda, the Best Picture winner last year.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's a very good movie. It's very a small movie to win Best Picture. Like movies like that don't normally win, but it was a really nice movie, and I like Coda. But it's funny that you bring that up because my final thought today, because in 17 minutes, this year's Oscar nominations are coming out.
Wow, I had no idea.
I know you didn't. That's why I thought it was quite funny bringing up Coda.
Yeah.
I, of course, love the Oscars. In on it every year. I watch every movie nominated for Best Picture for years and years and years now. And
All right, so are you giving out some predictions here?
I'm going to give them my 10s. They nominate 10 movies for Best Picture, plus I'm going to give a thought about one of the movies. So I've seen 6 of what I expect the nominees to be. I've seen 6 that will definitely get nominated. The other 4 I'm taking stabs
How
at.
many do you think I've seen?
I don't know. Maybe 1.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
maybe none. Oh no, no, there's 1. I think there's 1 there. You know, definitely. All right, so I will also. So and then after I'm going to give a take about one of the movies. So that'll be my take. But I'll give you a prediction, and I'll give you. So I've seen 6 movies that I think will get nominated. The ones I've seen are Top Gun, and this is the order I like them the most.
Top Gun Maverick for
Top Gun Maverick is getting nominated for Best Picture.
That is insane.
Best movie of the year.
It
was the best movie of the year. It was my best movie experience. It wasn't the best movie of the year. It was my most favorite movie.
It's embarrassing to the Academy.
Fableman's Tar, Banshees in Inisherin, Everything All at Once, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Those 5 are my top 5 by a mile. I like those 5 so much. Elvis is 6 will get nominated. Elvis was trash.
I thought Elvis was good.
I thought it was fine. I thought Austin Butler as Elvis was amazing.
Dude, it seemed like that role.
That guy was a superstar. Like, give him all the roles. Like, he's amazing.
Well, do you see he like permanently talks like Elvis now? Like he like in his everyday life.
I think he'll stop once all the Oscar stuff is done. But like,
no, I saw an article that says like he might be permanently changed.
I saw that too. I don't think that's gonna happen.
It's not a bad change for what it's worth.
No, but he's an actor. He's gonna have to do other voices. Like I promise you, his voice will
sign language.
He's great. He's the best part of that movie by miles. Austin Butler is amazing. The rest of it, it's like a music video with some scenes in it.
Yeah.
It's fun. I was not a huge fan of Elvis, but it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. So those are my top 6 in that order. Fableman's or Tar, probably the best quote unquote movies of the year, but Top Gun Maverick kicked ass.
It's like giving food of the year to like Cheetos or something.
No, Top Gun Maverick is amazing. Dude. It's amazing.
It's not like
it saved movie theaters. It brought people back. On top of that, the practical effects that you're wrong. Like, have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
No.
Oh, okay, so why don't you see it? It's going to get nominated for Best Picture. So you're in the minority here when it comes to this because the film elites who never nominate these type of movies.
That's my point.
But that's the point. This was so good. This was such a good version of the type of movie it is. That it's that good that it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. So before your ignorance without seeing it, the classic Elliot, be ignorant about say this is the best movie ever made. Oh, I've never seen that one.
Well, I'm just saying, like
it's like my daughter. So we'll always be like, hey, Zoe, do you want to try? Why don't you try, whatever, not even like vegetables. We'll be like, hey, why don't you try this burger? Like,
I'm like that too.
And she'll be like, I don't like it. Like, how do you know? Have you ever tried it? No. Well, then how do you know you don't like
That's
it?
literally me and Chris.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So
Yeah.
anyway, you do this with movies and stuff too.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm right. Anyway, here are my predictions for the 10 movies that will get nominated for Best Picture. Like I said, the first 6 I've seen, but here are my predictions because there'll be 10. Top Gun Maverick, The Fablemans, Tar, Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elvis, Avatar: The Way of Water. These last 3, I think those 7 are locks to get.
Avatar also embarrassing. Go ahead.
Okay, we want to get into Big Jim. Don't mess with Big Jim.
Yeah.
All right, those 7 are locks. Here's my guesses for the other 3, but these 3 could go multiple different ways. But I'm going to say Babylon, The Whale, and Women Talking are going to be my 3 guesses for the others that get nominated. We'll see how it goes. I could see Glass Onion get nominated. I don't think so.
Glass Onion was good. So I just thought of a take,
Glass
but maybe I'll save it for tomorrow. It's off of this though. I'm gonna write it down.
Save it. All right, and then my last take as a part of this is the actual takes. This I originally had this take always written down as one of my takes. I added to it for everyone with the Oscar noms. I probably should have saved it because, like, I'm gonna run out, but I'll make it work. Cate Blanchett in Tar is the best performance of the 2000s and among the great performances I've ever seen in my life. I said to my brother, who's my brother is the most even keel, not I'm the hyperbole one. He's not. He's also like a movie nerd. Like, I love movies. He loves movies 100 times more than me. It's like, what are you doing now? I'm watching this 3-hour Polish film.
Right.
That's my brother. He said it might be the best female performance he's ever seen in his life.
Wow.
Like, Cate Blanchett in Tar is freaking unbelievable. It is, if you care about movies, if you're a movie person, the movie's amazing to begin with. It's dark and not like the easiest watch, but it is great. And Cate Blanchett is that. She's gonna win Best Actress. It's like the biggest lock of the Oscars already. It is one of the great performances in the history of movies. Cate Blanchett in Tar. The movie is called Tar. Right. Tar.
Maybe I'll check it out.
It's a great movie. Phenomenal movie. It's about a conductor.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, very good.
To be fair,
Lydia Tar.
I can't say for sure, but has your brother seen Genie in Georgia? If you want to throw out these
we're talking movies, so that probably would stand regardless.
TV shows are basically movies now. Right. They're just better versions of them.
And we're done.
Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow we'll be back every day. More Eagles talk. More about McSorley's. We'll let you know more information about that, and we'll get Elliot's final thought that he just came up with.
I wrote it down. You're gonna really hate it.
I already do. I already hate it. I don't know what it is.
You're gonna really hate it.
Way behind on my work today. It's just one of those days. Step. Earmuffs. 1, 2, 3. When you step in shit to start the day,
that's how the day goes.
It's probably gonna be shit from there.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? Eagles don't play today, so
got a few days for that.
Get through it. Go to bed early. All right. Talk to you tomorrow. He's James. 42 minutes.